G'day kids and mums and dads, welcome to the Charlie Boots Workshop. My name's Aaron, I'm part of the Charlie Boots team here. If this is the first time you're watching one of our online video tutorials, this is the core and the heart of what we do here at Charlie Boots. We're all about educating children about how to use craft and get creative at home in a really safe and contact-free environment. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you watch the introduction video, which talks about how to set up a safe workspace, keep an eye on small pieces that little brothers and sisters may want to put in their mouth, and of course getting mum and dad's permission to do your craft work. But this video is all about our Father's Day kit, which is pretty exciting considering I'm a dad, and I know there's a lot of dads out there, and to see something that your child has handcrafted and given to you on Father's Day, it's just it's a wonderful feeling, and that's what I want to give you, you guys out there at home, the ability to do that for your dad or whoever it is, that special person in your life. Could be a brother, could be an uncle, could be a grandpa, whoever it is. You know, here's a great opportunity for them to feel special because you've made them something absolutely perfect from scratch for them. So in our kits, we have a Father's Day card, we have an apron which you can paint and decorate, we've got a dad picture frame which you can also paint, put your pictures in there for him. We've got a little toolbox that we're going to build and make and paint in this video. We've got a dad keyring which has got best dad in beads on there. We have some dad stickers to spell dad, so we've got a lot of great stuff in here, and obviously some paints, some markers and paintbrushes as well, and a palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through how we paint the apron, build the toolbox and get it painted, how to paint and build the picture frame, and how to assemble the dad keyring, which is pretty awesome. So let's get stuck into it. All right, so the reason why we're going to do our toolbox and our picture frame first is that we need to use the glue to put them together before we can paint them, and so we're going to need time for that to dry. It takes, to get maximum strength in the glue, it'll take around about 4 hours, but ideally it's best to leave it overnight. That way it's really strong before we start handling it and painting it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take all our pieces out of here and clean up my workspace here, just like in the introduction. Keep a clean, creative work area. It means you do better work. So we'll clean up and we'll take this out of its bag. But we're not going to throw this out, and I'll tell you why. All I want right now, as the apron, is this bag and my glue. And so we'll open it up, and there is just a little sticky here which we use to undo that. Of course, this is a plastic bag, so make sure you stay safe and responsible with your rubbish when you're finished with it. But as I said, we're going to use this, and we're going to use it to lay down on our work surface to help us glue the toolbox together. So here we have all our pieces. We have our two ends of the toolbox, and you'll see that there's some different sized slots in here. So longer slots are for the sides and shorter slots are for the bottom and the handle. So we can find our pieces, and we know that this is a handle because it's smaller and it goes at the top, and it'll go in there like so once we've glued it. We can also see our sides have a longer tab which goes into that slot. You know, I'll put it in this way so you get a better light, and in it goes in there. You see that? And we also have, so we have two sides and we have a bottom, and the bottom has a shorter tab, and it goes, I'll turn it around this way, and it goes in the bottom like so. So when we're gluing it up, we can look at it and we see that there's no point putting glue on the ends of these tabs. We need to put the glue on the side. And so to do that, we get our glue, we make sure that we have our piece on our plastic so we don't glue it to the bench, and we start with the bottom and we apply the glue just like this. We wipe the glue gun end on the sides of that tab, just like that. And then we push that in to that slot. So it's really simple. And we do the same for the sides. No glue on the end. We just wipe it like so. And you don't really need to even squeeze the glue. If you just wipe it, because it is a little, it's perfectly running. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. It just wipes off and it flows out of the tip, and then on it goes. The sides can go on either side, and in they slot. And if they're a little bit off at this point in time, that's okay, because when we put the other side of the toolbox on, it'll all come together. So there's where we're up to. Pretty simple, but like anything you do, whether that's being creative or schoolwork or jobs at home, there's no need to rush. You take your time, you do the best job you can, because if you rush, you might make a mistake, and if you make a mistake, you may have to fix it, and then you've got to spend more time making the repairs. So it's best to just take your time and no rush. So here again, here's how we apply it. Don't even have to squeeze the glue. Wipe it on, just like that. Put it in the slot, and that's it. So there's all the components apart from the end of the toolbox. And then to finish it off, we just do the same thing again. We use our glue gun, we wipe on the side, let the glue run down a little bit. And don't forget, if you need Mum's help, definitely get Mum to give you a hand, but it is really simple. And make sure you show Mum's video and say, hey Mum, Aaron's showing me how to put together this toolbox, but I just need a little bit of help. Can you give me some help? But don't ask Dad. You don't want Dad to know you're doing this, because it's meant to be a surprise for Father's Day, So ask Mum or an older brother or sister for some help. So there's all the glue we need, not too much. And starting with the handle at the top, we slide that on, and then lining up all the other pieces one at a time, and it should all come together nicely. Just like that. And that's it. Okay, now that you've glued the toolbox together, leave it alone. I know it's tempting to want to now start painting and holding it and moving it around, but we want to let that glue get as hard as it possibly can, at least 4 hours, but ideally overnight. So keep that in your head. I've glued it up, I don't want to mess it up. I'm just going to leave it for at least 4 hours, preferably overnight. And then from here, so there's our little toolbox. It's still wet, so I'm going to put it down. So now we're going to glue together our dad picture frame, which is these two pieces here. So it's nice and simple. One piece, two piece, let's get it done. So it's important when we're gluing the dad picture frame together that we get the letters pointing the right way. So we make sure our D and our A and our D all, Dad's able to read them, basically. If we did it this way, he'd be going, oh, I think you might need to get back to school there, kids. But this is the way we do it. And so this little stand piece here has a tab, and then there's a slot on the picture frame itself, and it just slots into the back like so. And push that down, and in it goes just like that. And you could even leave that like that if you wanted to, but I'm going to glue it in and show you guys how to do that in case you want to do it at home. So it's pretty simple. We make sure our letters are face down when we're gluing this, and we're using our plastic bag that all the components came in. We get our glue, and just like with the toolbox, we don't need to squeeze it, we just wipe it on, only on the tab on the sides. We don't need it on the end, just a little on the sides, and that is as much as we need. So there's a good look at it there. That's all the glue we need. And lid back on the glue. We don't want that to dry out. And we just push it back in that slot. Just like that. And just like our toolbox, we will let that to dry for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight.